The Night Witches were the first female combat pilots in the world. They were this all-female regiment of fighter pilots that served for the Soviet Union during World War II. They got the name Night Witches from the Nazis. What happened during missions is the women would fly in at night, kill their engines, and then glide silently over their target. The Nazis wouldn't hear anything except for the whistling of the bombs right before they dropped. It started to go around that that whistling sound sounded like a witch's broomstick and that there were witches in the air. And so night witches became the word for the women in the air.
Before this play started, I actually did know who the Night Witches were, sort of by chance. And I was like, oh, these women are cool. So when I saw the casting notice, I was like, oh, somebody's doing something about the Night Witches, and like more people need to know about these women.
In auditions, we said we're going to be taking the time to bring a group of creators to a farm, to live together, work together full-time, to tell this story that we all think is really, really important.
We had the residency down on my family farm in Culpeper, Virginia. My dad works as a crop duster, and he has a hangar on our property where he keeps his crop dusting helicopters. It's a perfect space to put on a theatrical show. It's a perfect space to build and create and move, and moreover, it's a perfect space to tell a story about aviation. And this is such a story of young women in flight.
We really enjoyed it. I mean, we just taken right from the start.
Just so impressed by it. I'm getting stronger. I cry less each time I see it.
This is something you would see more often in New York, and so to bring that to a small town in Virginia, and for people to understand it, for people to get it, for people to be thinking about it afterwards, it was an incredible thing. Phase 1 was getting the bones of the story up. Phase 2 is taking this play, refining it, presenting it again for audiences in Virginia and audiences in New York, with the goal of, in Virginia, reaching more of that community, and in New York, reaching a production community, getting more people involved who believe in this story and believe in the core of the story and really want to see it fly.
Having this opportunity to live together, to be bunkmates, have roommates, and cook together and sit and eat dinner, I think it helped a lot with developing the play, because in reality, they were all living together at a base.
And we all bring something very different to the table. So for instance, Elida would go off and choreograph for us for hours. Alexis and Elena would go and work on building and designing that massive plane that we use. Elizabeth would spend hours studying Russian so that we got all of our Russian vocabulary correct.
All of the characters that we've developed here, they are based on true stories, but they are compilations of many different stories. Rena's much more hardened by the throes of war, but there's a soft spot in her, because even though she's fighting the enemy, she's doing this for her sisters.
Our girls' planes will fly. Their machine guns will shoot. They are strong and severe. Yes, these of Travonia. Yes, these of Travonia. Be prepared for the war today.
We're showing female bodies on stage, doing physical work, being strong, being tough. And then we sort of ease into this world of just like being girls. We see these women that have been through so much literally being like, we're gonna play pretend. Like, let's play pretend, and kind of for 5 seconds pretend that we don't have these problems that we have.
I feel like once I leave, I'll be able to put it in words that are way more eloquent than I'm going to try to do now. But it's just been like once in a lifetime experience. I faced my fear of flying here. I was a 9/11 child, and that really scared me. But I got to this farm and I told myself, you're gonna go on a plane, you cannot do this show without flying. And I was really freaked out, but I did it, and I've gone up twice, because I'm like, if these women can do it and like crawl out of the plane as the plane's in the sky at night and drop a bomb or fix a wing, like, what am I afraid of? I have no reason to be afraid.